Bitcoin just swept the first lows that we discussed in my previous video, and we just got the unemployment rate, which is higher than expected. In today's video, we'll be talking about exactly this, going over the most recent Bitcoin price action, what we should be expecting next in this very, very volatile market. Hint, I think that Bitcoin dominance will likely continue to increase. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. First things first, taking a look at the Bitcoin price action, you can see that we did indeed sweep those first lows found right around $87,700. Now, Bitcoin is trying to slowly climb up after we wicked to about $85,200. Does this mean we are in the clear? I don't necessarily think so. We have these lows right around $83,700, and of course the ultimate lows thus far, $80,600 that we have to keep our eyes on. Right now, Bitcoin is trying to slowly reclaim these lows. And so if we can manage to break and hold above here, say on a 4-hour time frame basis, then I would be expecting us to potentially target the bottom of this range, which could bring us all the way up to $89,000. But guys, the trend is still very much down. And in these periods of volatility, I firmly believe that Bitcoin dominance will just continue to increase. You can see that I'm still holding on to my Bitcoin dominance long trade, and we basically caught the perfect lows this time around. Now, this was all the way back in September. So I wouldn't blame you if you didn't enter any kind of trade on Bitcoin dominance. But the point is, I still think that Bitcoin dominance continues to increase from here because as Bitcoin drops, it drops significantly less than altcoins. But as we pump after the drop, it also rises percentage-wise more than most altcoins. That is why I think Bitcoin dominance will likely continue to increase, and we should see a pretty strong spike here. Last time we talked about how this was a crucial support level, and Bitcoin dominance did indeed tap into this level twice, similar to the previous cycle. And because of this, I actually think that Bitcoin dominance will break above its bull market support band, and maybe we can go as high as 66%, targeting these highs once more. That might sound crazy, but with this kind of price action that we've been seeing, it should not surprise you. That is why on Bluffin, I am positioned accordingly with this Bitcoin dominance long trade. Now, I also did start shorting Solana, but you can see that I am currently down around $3,000. No worries, because I do think that this position will likely play out, especially if Bitcoin is to start bleeding lower. The question really is at this point, are we going to tap into $89,000 before a potential rejection? I do think a rejection is more than likely. If we take a look at the liquidity heat maps, you can see that we did indeed grab some of that upside short liquidity for Bitcoin, and now some more longs have started to pile in. And let's take a look at the 3-day time frame to see if it paints a little bit of a different picture. We are grabbing that upside liquidity, and we still have some more above $90,000. This is in line with my expectations of us having a longer term relief rally, but I think that this will likely occur into the new year. For now, I am still leaning a little bit more bearish than most. My trades are positioned accordingly. However, I still am also holding my Bitcoin long, which I entered at much, much lower levels. If you've been watching the channel, you're probably tired of me talking about it, but I just want to show you that I have my exposure on both sides of the market. This is why, despite the fact that most people would never dare to knife catch, I went ahead and did so with Bitcoin, because now I maintain that exposure to the upside in case I am wrong and Bitcoin starts surging from here. But ultimately, I am still leaning lower. We got some data that just came out today that I want you to be aware of, and that is indeed the unemployment rate. You can see here that the unemployment rate came in at 4.6% with the estimation around 4.5%. Then we had the delayed October retail sales, which was unchanged month over month at an estimated of 0.1%. Then the November non-farm payrolls, which came in at around 64,000 month over month. The estimation was around 50,000. We also have the dollar starting to drop, which I do think will reverse course in 2026. I actually think we will be having a bullish dollar in 2026, which will not bode over well for risk assets like crypto. The point that I'm trying to get across here is I still think we're likely going to get rejected. Guys, remember, I'm showing you this on the shorter time frames, 12-hour, 4-hour, but if we go on, for example, the daily time frame, you can see that we are still very much in a downtrend. On the weekly time frame, I mean, I don't need to repeat myself here, but it's pretty damn clear that Bitcoin does want to go ahead and move lower. That's why I shared in my previous video that I would not be surprised if the lows here at around $80,000 are not met at some point in time. It will happen, in my opinion. Not a matter of if, but rather when. And as we probably go below $80,000 to try to continue to form this bottom, that is probably the point in time where we would like to have a relief rally going into the new year. Now, obviously, I'm not a fortune teller. I have no clue when this relief rally could actually materialize, but it would not surprise me if Bitcoin does find its way back above $100,000. That will be price movement that I will be looking to trade. But at this point in time, I am actually net short despite having my Bitcoin long open from the lows. Again, I'm perfectly okay if that gets stopped at a break even because my most recent trades have been leaning more towards shorting this market. And reminder, if you want to know exactly how I'm trading this market, what are my trades, all of the trades that I come on YouTube and share with you after the fact, you do have the first link in my description down below. It brings you to my free Telegram community. You DM me the keyword premium and I'd be happy to onboard you into my free premium group. Now, you do need to sign up with one of my affiliate exchange links, one of them being Bluffin, which they do have a fantastic holiday promotion. You can get $1,000 cash back over this holiday period, depending on your deposit. And so if this sounds interesting to you, go ahead and sign up with the second link in my description down below. Another reminder as well, I am not a financial advisor. There's a big disclaimer in the description down below. I'm just a guy on the internet sharing his own crypto insights and of course, some of his most recent trades. Now, something else that we have to consider, and I don't want this to just be a very bearish video, but guys, this is the market that we've come to expect. I'm just sharing with you what I'm seeing on the charts. If the stock market starts moving lower, even if we drop, say, just a few percentage points, Bitcoin will not be able to handle that. And I highly, highly believe that those 80K lows will be tested once more, likely going below that level. So you do need to consider this. Now, USDT dominance, you can see that we did initially get rejected at the 6.76 level. However, we're now slowly starting to climb up. If you're bullish on crypto right now, you do not want to see us break above here because then that would confirm that we're going to go into a more prolonged bearish period. And to be honest, legends, there's not that much to update you on. The price action is doing exactly what we discussed. We tagged those first lows, and now the real question is, are we going to come again and tag those second lows around $83,700 and then inevitably around those 80K lows? That is personally what I am waiting for, and I'm trading the market accordingly. Remember this tweet? Eric Trump says Q4 will be unbelievable for crypto. Well, this is pretty unbelievable, wouldn't you say? And the last thing I just want to bring to your attention before we wrap up this video, there's a 75% chance that we get no rate cuts in January of 2026, something for you to consider. And that sums up today's quick video. I am definitely leaning a lot more short than long, although I am still maintaining my most recent Bitcoin long simply because I want to keep that exposure in case I am incorrect. Let's see how the price action develops, but ultimately it is trending in the direction that we've been discussing time and time again over the past few weeks. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. As always, I have my Bluffin leveraging tutorial right here if you want to know how to trade this market in these volatile times, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video.